We're rolling out some brand new locomotives here on the Sedalia subdivision, right now on the main track. Well, hey friends, welcome to another update here on the main track. You know, most of the time here on the channel, I'm showing you progress on my layout itself, with the scenery or buildings or the track work. And I promise I am working on another one of those updates right now for you that I'll be rolling out very shortly. But today we're looking at something new in the way of my motive power. Well, these are the brand new EMD GP40s by Rapido, and I've been excited to get these ever since I pre-ordered these a while back. Now, I got the message from Iron Planet Hobbies that these were finally in, and so I headed straight there to pick these up. Now, the GP40 was one of the most common 4-axle locomotives that you would find on the rails back in the 1970s and 80s and even up through the 90s. And there were almost 1,000 built for various railroads, and a lot of them are still running today for various short lines. Well, the GP40 was also the most prevalent make and model of locomotive on the Katy, with almost 80 of these on the roster at the time of the Union Pacific merger. And just a quick reminder as we get rolling here, this video is not sponsored or an advertisement. Now, Rapido has released several road names with these GP40s, and the MKT is just one of those. But among the Katy GP40 numbers offered are these three. Well, it's a prime example of how Katy kind of did things its own way a lot of times, creating some unique and unusual locomotives. And that includes this 3-unit lashup entailing GP40s 227 and 226, bookending slug unit number 501. Well, a good question is, why do they call these things slugs? Well, I couldn't find an official answer, but my guess is that the shape of these things, kind of rotund and on the long side, is similar to those slimy creatures. Now, I read another theory that it's because they're slow like a slug, but Katy actually used this on its main line trains. Well, this GP40 set generally stayed together, and they were nicknamed the Three Stooges by Katy employees, which is kind of funny. Now, we've seen some pictures of these in our book, Show Me Katy, and there are also several clips of these from Kenny Kaiser that he took back in the 1980s that we featured in our DVD, Katy's Country, so these things showed up quite a bit on the Sedalia subdivision over the years. Now notice I called number 501 here in the middle a slug unit and not a B unit. Well, some quick background here, and some of this could be a review for you. And we call modern day locomotives diesels, but they're actually diesel electrics. Unlike a semi-truck, the diesel engines on board locomotives here in the U.S. don't actually power the wheels directly, but they serve as little power plants, creating electricity which feed the motors which turn the wheels. And that brings us to a slug, which, while similar, is set up differently than a B unit. Well, slugs only have electric motors powering the wheels. It doesn't have its own diesel prime mover to generate the electricity, so it gets that power from an adjoining locomotive, in a sense becoming an extension of that other locomotive. So in concept, it's no different than plugging in an electrical appliance, basically doing nothing until you plug it in. And so that brings us to the Three Stooges. 501 got its power from the other two units in the trio, GP40s 226 and 227. It's basically half a locomotive, both operational and in height. Some railroads had these slugs because they got the job done by adding horsepower, but again, they were also cheaper because they didn't have a diesel engine or cab or any other features that cost money. Well, in Katy's case, 501 was originally a full locomotive, and it was GP40 number 222, but it was destroyed during a bad collision and then rebuilt in the Parsons, Kansas MKT shops into this slug in July of 1982. Well, thing is, 501 could not be hooked up to just any random locomotives. The GP40s 226 and 227 were retrofitted to become so-called mother units, and they had special wiring and other mechanical upgrades to supply the electricity to the slug. And so that is why these three were always found together. Well, they weren't permanently coupled, and they could be separated for repairs, but you wouldn't find 226 or 227 operating out on their own. Now, the set could run in a locomotive consist with other units as long as these were operating as the trio. Now, one thing I have noticed during my research is that if the set was in a group of locomotives, it was always at the front. And I haven't seen any pictures or videos of these three further back in a consist, and I'm sure one of our fellow Katy fans can provide that reason. Well, these will certainly be a welcome addition to our Katy layouts, considering the GP40 was the most common locomotive on the railroad, and there were almost 80 of these on the roster at the time of the takeover by Union Pacific in 1988. Now, as for the models themselves, I'm going to quickly highlight some of the features. Now, with these units, you have the option of DCC ready or DC with a full decoder. And the DCC version includes ESU Loc-Sound version 5 decoders with low power capacitors, and that's to keep things running if you have a momentary power glitch in your track. Now, you can see here the graphics with the lettering and striping is pretty crisp, and the shade of green is pretty realistic. Up on top, there are also highly detailed fans like we saw with Rapido's recent GP38 release, and there are nice etched steps and separately applied grab irons. There are also tons of other nice details from front to back, including the detailed lighted cab. You'll also find these nice bright headlights and rear lights and class lights. There are also these nice white strobe lights on top, just like the Katy units had back in the 1980s. Well, the metal handrails are also nice, and I've been pretty impressed with how these have held up with my other Rapido units. Now, as you can see, they are a little thicker, but they're sturdy on purpose to handle a slight bump here and there if you brush against them, and I can tell you so far I've never had a handrail on any of my Rapido engines snap or bend off. Now, I can tell these new GP40s are going to look pretty good with my Rapido Conrail GP38s, which I patched up for the MKT. Now, Rapido has also released these GP40s in several other road names, and that includes the Union Pacific versions representing what MKT 227, 501, and 226 looked like after being repainted after the UP-Katy merger. Well, so of course these GP40s looked great in Katy's green and yellow, but what railroad's colors do you think they look best in? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll look forward to hearing those. Well, until next time here on the main track, all aboard and all the best.